thing about carnivores, it made me think about plants differently. You've got this wall of green
this
leaves
is probably giving you PTSD.
Right?
You hate
No,
plants.
I'm good.
I've seen that you do not like plants.
We're good. There's hopefully there's an animal hiding in this jungle back here somewhere too. But
what I learned from you is that plants have something in them, so you don't eat them, right? They've developed over years different chemicals and things defense chemicals.
Yeah. So this is obviously you've got some faux plants here. I'll put the word out. This is not a real living wall.
Not real. You're safe, Paul. You are safe here.
But the equivalent of these plant leaves in nature, right outside your door here, would contain defense chemicals.
Yeah.
And different plants contain different defense chemicals, and we know that these defense chemicals are evolved by plants in their arms race with animals and insects and other multicellular organisms that diverged from the plant kingdom about 400 million years ago.
Right.
So we're talking like before dinosaurs, right?
Right.
Like plants and animals diverge, and plants say, oh, I'm in the ground. I can't move anywhere. I got to have some defense chemicals, or these people are just not people, obviously, I misspoke. These animals and insects and other things that are moving around on the ground are going to eat me without any regard.
Yeah.
So plants and animals have had this kind of love-hate relationship for
Cat and mouse game.
millions and millions and millions of years. And so where we end up today is Homo sapiens has been around for 350, 400,000 years. Pre-hominid humanoids have been around for 2 million years. The main theories in anthropology and evolution are that we diverged from chimpanzees and bonobos maybe 4.5 million years ago, maybe in the East African Rift Valley. And so we've been evolving as humans, and an interesting thing happened in our evolution as humans about 1.8 million years ago, and it's that our brains start getting much bigger. And nobody really knows why this happened, but it was pre-Homo sapien evolution, but probably the spark in terms of what led us to be human. But I think one of the most compelling things that we see in the fossil record is that 1.8 million years ago is right about the time we started hunting. You can see stone tools, cut marks on bones, mass graves of animals saying, and the quote, pre-humans at this time were Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo heidelbergensis, and mass graves of animals. So it's pretty clear humans started hunting around 1.8 million years ago. Stone tools, bifacial tools, Acheulean tools, these kind of things. And our brains started getting bigger 1.8 million years ago. So correlational, we don't really know what happened. Could have been aliens, who knows? But fascinating things happen there. And we've had this kind of interesting relationship with plants the whole time. You know, our primate ancestors, if you look at our primate ancestors, chimps and bonobos, mostly frugivorous, mostly fruitarian, but they will eat other animals.
What's a bonobo?
A bonobo is like one of these monkeys, right? Well, I should be careful with this. I don't know if a bonobo is a monkey. A bonobo might be different lineage than a monkey. It's a primate.
Got it.
So chimps and bonobos are very closely related.
Got it.
Have you seen this documentary, Chimp Empire?
I've heard about it.
Yeah. So this guy did this. And one of the things they left out of Chimp Empire was how often the chimpanzees will kill and eat monkeys.
Yeah.
So chimps are actually pretty often going to eat other animals. They will eat a significant amount of meat. Right. It makes us kind of skittish as humans because we're thinking like, wow, that's like humans eating each other, or even chimps. These are all sort of simian. They all have hands and thumbs and opposable thumbs. It gets kind of close to home for us. But it's true that we are from a lineage of primates that ate a lot of fruit, ate honey, and ate meat more often than we like to admit.
Right.
And my hypothesis, what I believe, if you look at the fossil record in anthropology, is that as we became more and more human, we ate more and more meat. And you can see this, that you can look at stable isotope studies of the bones and teeth of Neanderthals from 50 to 60,000 years ago, or coexisting Homo sapiens from around the same time period, and you find that we were getting almost all of our protein from animals at that time. So, and then the question is, how much plant food versus how much animal food are humans meant to eat? What's ideal? Again, it's just hypothesis and sort of opinion and conjecture, but I think there's an interesting hypothesis here. This is where I started thinking with the carnivore diet that like maybe plants' leaves are not the best thing we should eat. Because if you ask most doctors who are supposed to be at the top of the medical hierarchy and know what's good for us, or you ask nutritionists or dietitians, they'll tell you plants and plant leaves are the best thing you can eat. And I would suggest that that's completely wrong. That's kind of the bottom of the pyramid. I think if we collect all of the non-processed foods, I think mostly everyone agrees that ultra-processed food, garbage, get it out. Anyone listening to this, you get rid of ultra-processed food, anything that comes in a bag or a box or a container with a label on it. I mean, generally speaking, ultra-processed food, with additives, that's a problem for humans. But unprocessed or minimally processed animal and plant foods much better for humans. But if we're looking at those foods and you have a table with vegetables, you've got some leaves on it, you've got some nuts, you've got some seeds, you've got some roots, you've got some fruit, and you've got some meat. I think that if you gave that table to our hunter-gatherer ancestors or a currently living hunter-gatherer today, like the Hadza of Tanzania or the Khoisan of Botswana and Namibia, they would clearly have a preference for a few of those foods. And if you ask them, and studies have been done with this, Frank Marlowe is a researcher who looked at the Hadza in Tanzania. He basically asked them, what are your favorite foods? Both men and women said honey was their favorite food. And then men said meat was their second favorite food. Women have a three-way tie between berries, baobab, which is a fruit in Africa, and meat. And both men and women have tubers as their least favorite food. Leafy greens don't even make it in the top 5.
Right.
Salad doesn't even make it in the top 5 of our ancestors.
Right.
And this was kind of what I was thinking with the carnivore diet. Like, okay, maybe these plant defense chemicals, maybe I'm uniquely sensitive, or there are some people who are more sensitive than others to plant defense chemicals, which tend to be concentrated in the vegetable parts of plants, which are the non-fruit parts of plants. So you have leaves, stems. We don't need a lot of stems, but like celery is a stem.
Like a romaine.
Well, romaine is a leaf, generally.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
but like celery is a stem.
Stem.
And then roots, which are like potatoes or sweet potatoes. And then the seeds. Seeds are the seeds, nuts, grains, and beans. Those are all seeds. So contrast those plant foods with the fruit, which is the part that plants often make colorful when it's ripe and make sweet. Plants are kind of telling you, eat this. Don't eat the rest of me so much, please. But I want to put a caveat here that a lot of people can eat vegetables and be super healthy.
Yep.
What's interesting for me is that there are some people who feel better without them. And that's really been something that I've been talking about. It's a controversial part of what I talk about because most people believe vegetables are the best thing in the world. But I think that if there's two things, some of the most important things that I feel compelled to talk about with my platform and the information I'm putting out are, number one, don't fear meat. It's gotten a bad rap. It's super beneficial for humans. We can talk more about that. And vegetables aren't great for everyone. If you can eat vegetables and thrive, great, do it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people who have autoimmune diseases like me or persistent fatigue or joint pain or anything, if they limit the vegetables or cut them out as an experiment, a lot of people feel better. That's interesting to me.